Oh, thanks for the love, Sammy. Sammy, you got a dirty face.
I'm a dog, Mom.
Hey, everybody. It's the whole Motley crew. Happy Wednesday. So we're just going to wait for a few minutes and see who's jumping on. Hi, Sherry Quaid. Oh, my gosh, you made it live. Girlfriend, how you doing? Oh, my gosh. So we have something a little bit different for you today. Neither one of us has any notes. I have nothing in my hands.
And as usual, I have nothing up here either, so I don't know.
Oh, Ellen is watching. Hey, Ellen. So, Ellen, tomorrow, I plan to pick you up in the afternoon. I'll text you as mentioned. We have to make a little pit stop at one of the exits in Lakeland to deliver some thread and pick up a thread hanging thing that my friends Jeff and Diane are giving to us. So, yeah, hi, Carol from Ohio Star Quilts. Hey. What? Okay, so you guys, I have a question for you. And then actually what we're going to do today is take some questions from you all. So do you ever experience that age-old, saying of when it rains, it pours? And I'm not talking hurricane season in Florida. I'm talking the quilt life at MK Quilts. And this week has been absolutely crazy. And one of the reasons why we're coming to you right now with kind of last minute notice is I'm sitting here this morning and I'm thinking about what day of the week it is. And I'm like, wait a minute. Ellen and I are leaving town tomorrow. And there's going to be no time for live feed later. So, Julie, what was...
I missed Petty John's there somewhere.
Yeah, up a little.
They're moving too fast.
Oh, from Alabama. Hi, Susan. Okay, we're trying to get backwards to Julie. I finally made it, and I don't see movement. Oh, do you see me now, Julie? All right. Well, anyways, so this is why we're doing the live feed now. And Chris, yes, watch your email box. And so we're doing it now because basically I'm going to be gone the rest of the week. And we really hoped to be doing something kind of fun and wild and crazy this afternoon involving a sledgehammer. But alas, that's going to have to wait. Yeah, so let's do a little bit of review. So last week we told you, kind of let out the cat out of the bag, so to speak, about the fact that we were going to take over the space next door. Well, that is going to happen. We just thought we were going to be able to finalize that in short order, but alas, we have to wait for the property management people, but they've got it all in order. We're going to sign the paperwork tomorrow morning, get the key, but then I'm leaving town. So, Paul, if you take a sledgehammer to the wall, you better take film of it, right? Record it.
I want you to be doing it,
So one of the things about this space, you guys, is we're in kind of a plaza here that part of the plaza has bigger establishments in it, and most of the plaza faces one of our main thoroughfare roads here in Pinellas County, Florida. Well, our spots face in a different direction, and our spots are kind of smaller type business office versus retail locations, spots. So when we moved in here, this was just a blank, big open box. Okay. Oh, sorry, Sammy. Did I get you? So what we did was we had a friend of ours put up, oh, Ellen wants to bang the wall. Okay, you got it, Ellen. So we had a friend put a wall in back here so that we could have some storage and whatnot. But basically, this is just a box. Well, next door is basically the same thing. Those people have vacated, as I told you last week. But in their space, they had put up walls and different things. The carpet's nasty. We're going to have to do a bunch of work over there. But one of the first things that we noticed when we moved in this space is at one point in time, there was a pass-through between these two spots. So there's already a hole in the wall that was covered up at some point that we're going to bust back through next week. And we'll wait for Ellen so we can both get a chance with the sledgehammer. But we are going to be so busy over the next 2 months getting all of this space next door. Paul's going to be helping out a great deal, I'm sure.
Like I had nothing else on my calendar, too.
And like we're going to be gone for 2 weeks out of this period. So we are hoping to get some friends to help us. We are hoping to hire some contractors and basically just take over that space as quickly as we can. So here is the plan for the new space. So I plan to pretty much, hey Mom, and Dad too if you're watching. So what we plan to do is pretty much let Ellen continue to have this space as her working space. And Ellen, I'm pretty much going to give you freedom to organize and do what you want here. We'll clean it up for you. You can have an actual desk. And so Ellen is going to be in charge of this space, keeping the machines running, and all of my long arm customers that come, that's Ellen's realm. Next door, eventually, I'm going to take McFinity over there. I am going to have a studio, like a film, more of like a filming studio created, where I can have better lighting, better audio, where I can work on my content, new videos for you all of those types of things that really have put me on the map, us on the map. I want to do more of that. Well, it's just really hard because I don't have a machine at my house. And when Ellen is here working, and I don't have a space of my own. Now, the other thing that we are planning for the space next door is some sort of a classroom setting, okay? So what does that mean? Well, for my local folks, it means that maybe there will be opportunities throughout the months that you can come up for sit and sews, or we can host Quilt of Valor people here, or we can do any number of things like sewing days and piecing classes, things like that. But we will also have our very own space where I can hold sim sessions here in Florida. Yay! I am really, really over the moon excited about just having a space that can be a multifunctional, multi-use, just a new space for us to be creative in. So I'm super excited. Are you excited, Paul?
I am excited, and I'm impressed for someone who didn't know what she was going to say on this video. Just rambled on for the last...
I don't know how long we've been on here. So that is, in addition to everything else we have going here, that's just gotten added into the mix. So keep watching. We will bring you guys along for that, and we'll vlog about it, and we'll let you come along and just kind of watch the transformation happen. So I'm pretty excited about that, and 2020 is going to be a huge year for MK Quilts. Okay, so anything you want to mention, Paul, before we take questions?
Well, when it rains and it pours, we literally have 3 deals closing all at once here, which is exciting. Both the Amara, which Melissa posted,
is sold,
is moving on. And just today, we found the perfect person for the Forte.
Yes, McForte is sold. She's moving on out of here.
I mean, she's still looking as good as the first day she arrived, but
oh my gosh, yes.
I'll open her up and lube her up before she heads on to her next.
That.
I cleaned her out, but we want to make sure the squeaks are.
Yes.
Check it out. You've been using her a couple quilts.
Yep.
So making it like new. So, and then we have another customer, another Forte. So there are a lot of people working on it. This is the best month of the year for pricing specials and everything else. If you are thinking about it and you can at all do it, this is where you're going to get the best deal.
This is the month. You're going to get the best bang for your buck. So what I mentioned last week that there may be some information coming out from Handy Quilter a little bit closer to the show. So it's not close enough yet. So I can't really post officially about it. But y'all know some stuff's going to be coming down with in connection with Houston International Quilt Festival, right? So here's the deal. I can't post about it. Like I can't put a flyer up about it. But I can talk to you about it. Okay, so seriously, you guys, there's some awesome stuff this month, and we always, as a retailer, we honor whatever Handy Quilter is putting out there. So there's some good stuff coming down the pipe. So give us a call, because we just, with all these deals that are just closing this week, we are going to have to fit people in. And remember, if you buy from us, you get the option of me coming to you if I can work it out, or you coming to me. Okay, so if you want to come during construction time and say you were there, yeah, give us a call.
So, and we will be replacing our floor models, and they become floor models after we quilt on them once. Now, you won't get the heavy discount that the Forte got the first time around, but they will be discounted prices as well. So if you've got financing under wraps and you want to deal with us, we can resell our almost barely used floor models as we go through the month as well. So a lot of options this month to save money, and you know, Sammy's just excited as can be.
Samson is such a internet sensation. So I was just telling Paul today, I had a brand new long arm customer that came, and you know, we were chatting. The quilt that she dropped off was her very first quilt. She did a fantastic job. It's a gift for her son. She didn't want to mess it up trying to quilt this big, almost king size quilt on her little domestic. And so we were just talking and planning, like I always do with customers, talking about what they envision for their quilt and so on and so forth. And so I said, so how did you find out about MK Quilts? Like, how did you find me? She said, well, I watched you on YouTube. I said, oh, wonder, that's awesome. She says, I watched your video. Like, I have one. I said, well, which video did you watch? She said, well, you were on there, and your husband was on there, and your cute little dog was on there, and you were teaching him how to quilt. OMG, that was an old one.
Long time ago.
That was an old one. But that just goes to prove, it really gives validation to Paul and I that, you know, our presence on social media is part of our business model. I mean, this is how we get out in front of people, local people included. This lady drove, 45 minutes because she saw me on YouTube, and she brought a beautiful quilt. So we build our business locally. We build our business with all of you all, wherever you're at. And it's just, for me personally, it's one of the very coolest, awesomest things about social media, and that's how it should be. It should be a fun platform where we share and you know, meet each other, even though we may never physically see each other. I feel like y'all are our friends. So yeah, it's just really been a crazy awesome time. So what we thought we would do, since we don't have any notes and we've been kind of rattling, if you have any questions, let's just open it up. Any of y'all have any questions about PK, MK, Samson?
Samson will answer questions too. He's a smart dog.
So we're watching. So scroll by if you have any questions about us or our family or anything about that.
And it's bound to be delayed by 30 seconds or so understand that as well.
And we don't have Ellen here today, so we have to watch the questions ourselves. No question, just a comment. Paul should not be sledgehammering. He needs to save his fingers for the keyboard. And arms for Sammy.
Yes, that's true. No, I've got a nice little electric sawzall that's going to do a lot of the work, but I just got to make sure there's no power to cut through when we go through. So
oh, yeah.
I'll check that from the other side.
Please be careful.
It'll be fun. I've got to move the one of the thread racks though is over.
Yes, so Ellen, you will have to kind of help us. We were thinking maybe the thread rack may need to move back up closer to the front of the shop, and
over there.
I don't know, like you're in charge of this space over here, Ellen. So I just happened to look over. I just happened to look over at my quilt display rack, and I did see my Dream Big panel hanging over there. So just as a way of a little bit of a reminder, let me scroll back. Yes, Sherry Quaid, Chevron class. Yes. If you will email me, Sherry Quaid, about when, I know you said you had a quilt that you were waiting to quilt until I came out with my Chevron class. So I'm not exactly sure when that might be. So let's you and I talk about what your schedule is, and then we'll see if I can fit that in. Okay, so the Dream Big. I put up the first part of that class, and I've already had some people renting that class. Now, I do want to remind you guys, I think there's been some confusion as I've been talking about the class is going to be put up in 2 parts. So the first part of the Dream Big class is the very first panel that I stitched. It's done, it's ready, it's online, it's ready to go. Now, I do have another panel that I'm planning to stitch out. And if you watch the class, if you rent the class and watch the class, you're going to see me puzzling through this Dream Big project and probably doing some things that I took the long way around the whole, the whole thing. So, but I kind of made a funny about it. I left these things in class, and I purposely did that because I want you to see that, you know, I don't know everything about everything. I know the machine pretty well, and I know Pro Stitcher pretty darn well. But I got to the end of that class, and I was just like, oh my gosh, why didn't you do this? And oh my gosh, why didn't you do that? And you should have thought about this way. So it's a perfect opportunity for when I drop in panel number 2 at the end of the class, you get everything for your purchase price. You're going to see me thinking about things a little bit differently. I sometimes have my own aha moments, and I teach myself things like, duh, why didn't you do that, you know? So anyways, that class is ready for anybody who's interested in it. And I know some of you all have already done Dream Big panels, but there still are a fair number of you that are just a little bit nervous about tackling that. You're just unsure about how do you get all those patterns in those petals, and how do you do that? Well, rent the class and watch me puzzle my way through it, and I'll help you figure it out. And then please share what you create from your own panels. Okay, anybody else have questions?
I think Ellen is dreaming now about redesigning the whole space, turning it into her own. Hey, if there's painting to do, Ellen, you have to do it.
So Ellen and I are road tripping tomorrow. I'm really excited. That reminds me. Okay, so as I'm talking, it's reminding me of things. So tomorrow, Ellen and I are road tripping together for the weekend over to Orlando. I'm going to be hosting my very last sim session for this year at one of my owners' homes over in Orlando. And Ellen, I wanted to take Ellen. You know, Ellen has really gotten up to speed very quickly with all of my methods and whatnot. But I really did want Ellen to be able to come with me this trip just for additional training. I'm sure she's going to pick up other things, and I'm sure that she can lend, her own tips and techniques and whatnot to my students this weekend. So I am really excited to be closing out the year with my sim sessions in a big way. And my daughter and son-in-law live in Orlando, so we're going to have dinner with them tomorrow night. And I'm just super excited. Now, speaking of sim sessions, my next sim session that is currently open for, we'll come back to you about the class for beginners. My next sim session that is currently open for registration is my sim session in California in January of 2020. Now, I think I just saw my host pop online for my California event. So we really need to get you guys, if you are at all interested in seeing me in California in January, get yourself signed up. The week that I'm going to be there is the same weekend as Road to California. And I think I mentioned last week that I'm going to go out ahead of time. My host and I are actually going to go to Road to California Quilt Show together. Super excited, over the moon about that. So if you're going to be at Road to California, please give me a shout out. Let's meet up. I'd love to meet you while I'm there. I'm just going to be there the Thursday opening day of the show, okay? Then Friday and Saturday is the sim event at my host, and she lives in Castaic, I don't know. It's on the website, and we would love to see you out in California. There may be an opportunity for me to stay an extra weekend and do another sim event back up in Oregon. I was just talking to one of our owners there, and we are going to try to work it out so that as long as I'm on the West Coast, I can do another something training-wise in Oregon. Yes.
And the lady I just spoke, well, I didn't speak to, we're going to speak to, somebody queried about wanting to upgrade her Fusion to a Forte. So if you're thinking about upgrading to a bigger machine, but don't want to spend the full amount of money, we can also set you up with people that are getting rid of their other machines. So this would be a good opportunity. If she upgrades, you know, you could do the whole coast. I might not see you for a month. I don't know.
Well, I have a big 2020. I mean, just like this year, I feel like it was just January 2019, and here we are in the middle of October. And I know that 2020 is just going to be as busy as this year has been. But I really do want to try to be home more next year. But I was already committed to California. And as long as I'm going to be on the West Coast, you know, it's no sense of me coming all the way back here and then going all the way back again. So let's keep your eyes and ears open and come out and see me next year for sim events, and then keep watching because maybe we'll have something here. And actually for my owners retreat in March, Paul and I have already been talking about that maybe the first night when y'all get into town, we'll have some sort of an event here. Some reception or something that y'all could come to and see the space, and then we'll do the rest of our event at the venue as planned. Okay, so, and if y'all want to get in on that owners event, come on.
And so what could be better in January or February than coming to Florida for a sim event or just some training, you know, as a group or something? So this is going to open up a lot of opportunities, and I know a lot of people want to get out of the snow and warm up. So we'll try and set some of those things up as well. My goal is to get that area up and running here by December. It's going to be a lot of work, but we're going to do it right because we're not going anyplace. People talk about buying machines from people that are, you know, out of business. They're out of business 6 months, 2 years later. Melissa and I are not going anywhere. This is our retirement plan. We are, you know, she's been doing it for what, 12 years now?
Yep.
And, you know, I've committed all out to it, so we are here for the next 20 years. I mean, it's... So we got to have fun with it. We're going to grow. We're going to do it right. And we're going to have lots of fun doing it.
Okay, so I just scrolled back. Somebody had a question. An MJ Gonzalez. Can this class be for beginners? I think you were probably speaking about the Dream Big panel class. I would say absolutely yes. Okay? Now, class for beginners. That makes me think. I just was working with a new owner this morning doing some remote training. And last evening, I started working on a class. I think I mentioned it last week that I wanted to do like a Pro Stitcher 101 class, okay? For those of you, owners get it free, but for those of you who would like some instruction, the real basics, okay? So I started on the class last night and I got pretty far. So basically I sent this portion of this class to my new owner, and then the rest of it we did this morning. We did it live on a WebEx meeting. And she said that what I had sent her last night was fantastic, okay? So basically, how I'm kind of structuring this beginning class is based on the Pro Stitcher checklist that we as retailers are supposed to and required to go through with you when you buy a machine, okay? So I'm just using that as my outline. Okay, and I'm just going through and showing you not just this is this button and this button is here. No, I'm showing you real nuts and bolts things. This is the button. This is what the button does. This is how I use the button. Okay, so you know, I spent a lot of time on just the beginning part of that class, and she thought it was awesome. And I sent it to her pretty raw format. Like I didn't do a whole lot of editing on it. So just be watching for that. I think it's going to be a really good tool for us as retailers to use with our owners, but also just make it available on our hosting site for anybody who wants to get my take on the checklist. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
25 minutes. Wow.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes, Ilsa, I still want to get to Australia.
Oh,
That
me too.
is on my bucket list. First, we have to get our trip planned for the UK. Paul, we have to do that. We have to get our travel plans for the UK.
I mean,
So
you're talking,
excited about
what,
that.
April?
Yes,
I'm
but
having a hard time thinking about October.
I know, but I really am hoping to get out there and do some more international travel too. So never say never, you guys. And here's the thing. What were you going to say, hon?
Well, and Australia is the other side of the equator. So when it gets real hot and slower next year, maybe June, July, August time frame, that'd be a really good time for us to go down and cool off in Australia, I'm thinking.
Yeah. Well, here's what I always say. For any of you who are wherever you are at, and that includes globally, if you help me build it, I will come. Okay? So if you think you can help me build it and we can make it financially make sense for the both of us and whoever you can round up, and if we have a spot and we have enough interest, we will come. Okay? So I'm just putting that out there. You help me build it, we will come. Okay? Okay, so I was basically just going to wrap up with saying, you know, that I was talking to this new customer that I was speaking to you about earlier that found me online with the YouTube thing, and she came in and she came with her husband. We had such a nice chat, and she was just telling me about, wow, you know, you seem like you love what you do. You've built your business, and you know, I like to make those connections with my customers. And she laughed, and I'm like, you know what? We really have. I basically just took something that was a passion of mine, a little hobby, and I have somehow been able to grow this thing into our livelihood. It's our business. It's what feeds the dog. You know, so I put that out there for you guys. Dream big. If there's something that you want to do in life, whether it's in quilting industry or, you know, a dream that you have, Paul's going to think like, oh my God, Tony Robbins is finally coming through, MK. He used to be a big Tony Robbins, like, you know, Tony Robbins is a motivational guy. Just go for it. You have to find what you love to do, and you have to find your little niche in that, and you have to be willing to be creative, and you have to be willing to put yourself out there. Did anybody call me up and say, okay, MK, here's what we're going to do. We're going to start doing videos and we're going to start doing live feeds? Well, he kind of did call and say, we should do videos. But the point of it is that I just kind of said, I want to do this thing, and I'm going to do videos, and I'm going to do YouTubes, and I'm going to do live feeds, and I'm going to have Facebook. And I mean, I just kind of did it without a whole lot of planning. I just went for it. So you got to go for it. You got to be willing to take a chance.
Okay, and 20 years ago, anyone else would have called her an introvert. That's how much she's changed. So
yeah.
I call her my trophy wife because she is.
Oh,
and we have both grown, and I like to brag a little. You know, we've done great things together, and we've been married 30 years.
30 years on Monday.
On Monday. So yes, I'm prepared. So for all you other husbands out there, yes, I prepared this one. Okay.
So I guess that's all we got for you today. Pretty, like Paul said, I can just talk for 30 minutes with no notes. Okay, let's show you what's over on the frames. So speaking of a reminder, here is a big, beautiful double wedding ring that a customer brought. And it just so happens that quilt perfectly lines up with the chapter on quilting that I need to do for my double wedding ring class. So this customer was gracious enough to tell me I could use her quilt for class. So that quilt is being focused in my instruction on double wedding ring. Okay, so a lot of you have bought that class. Just keep waiting a little bit more. I know that some of the people in class kind of fell behind and they weren't up to the quilting part yet. But some of you are, and I know that you're waiting to see kind of how I approach it. So I am working on that, I promise. Okay, over here, the last quilt on McForte. Ellen is just about done with this big, beautiful, gorgeous. It's like a Lone Star. Part of it is paper pieced, I think. Some of it is just regular pieced. Whole load of embroidery on there. It's absolutely fantastic, and Ellen is absolutely killing it over there. It looks gorgeous, Ellen. And then over here, this will be the last quilt on McMara. She's going to be getting on out of here probably next week. So, Ellen, no worries. We're going to be getting those new machines in here in short order. Okay, you guys, that's all we got for you today. Next week, we'll be back at some point. I don't know the day, but keep watching. Thank you for all your support. Get one of those shirts. We announced the shirts last week, so they're really awesome. We love them. Get one of the shirts. And just thanks for everything from the bottom of our hearts, and from Samson too. We appreciate you. And until next time, everybody, from our studio to yours, happy quilting. Bye-bye.